Debt is quietly eating your paycheck alive. And the worst part is, you probably set up the auto pay yourself. We're talking about a system so normalized that 45% of Americans carry a credit card balance month to month, feeding an industry that made over $170 billion last year just on interest alone. So here's the dilemma that's splitting personal finance circles right down the middle. Do you roll everything into one clean consolidation loan, or do you go full heat-seeking missile on your highest interest rate first? Both camps have PhDs, podcasts, and passionate Reddit threads. So let's actually figure out which one wins in the real world. The consolidation camp will tell you it's about simplicity and sanity. One payment, one interest rate, one less reason to spiral into a 2 a.m. spreadsheet session. And honestly, if a 14% personal loan replaces 4 credit cards averaging 24%, the math is doing real work for you. But here's where the Avalanche method crowd storms in with their color-coded amortization tables. If you ruthlessly attack the highest interest account first while paying minimums everywhere else, you mathematically minimize total interest paid over time. The problem is that strategy requires the emotional discipline of a Zen monk and the budget of someone who doesn't also have car repairs, grocery inflation, and a Netflix subscription they forgot to cancel. Here's the hidden system nobody talks about. Debt isn't just a math problem, it's a behavioral one. Studies out of Harvard and Wharton both found that people who got small wins by paying off lower balances first, what Dave Ramsey calls the snowball method, were dramatically more likely to stay out of debt long term, even though they technically paid more in interest. So now we've got 3 competing philosophies: Avalanche, snowball, and consolidation. And the irony is that the one that saves the most money on paper is also the one most people fail to finish. It's like buying the most efficient car and then never leaving the driveway because the manual transmission intimidated you. Let's talk historical cycles here, because debt consolidation products have been marketed as silver bullets since at least the 1980s. And the pattern is painfully predictable. People consolidate, feel relief, and then slowly reaccumulate balances on the cards they just paid off. Now they have the original debt plus the consolidation loan, which is the financial equivalent of treating a headache by also giving yourself a second headache. The misconception worth destroying right now is that consolidation is surrender, or that the Avalanche is always superior. Neither is universally true. Consolidation is a tool, not a personality flaw. And it genuinely wins when your new rate is meaningfully lower, your spending behavior has actually changed, and you close or freeze the accounts you just paid off. Practical lesson from the last 30 years of consumer debt data: the method you will actually stick to is the correct method for you. A 22% interest rate you're aggressively paying down beats a 15% rate you're casually ignoring while buying things you don't need with a card you promised yourself you'd stop using. If you're consolidating, treat it like a debt funeral, not a debt vacation. Cut the cards, lower the limits, and set the payoff date in stone before you sign anything. If you're going Avalanche, automate every single payment above the minimum so your emotions never get a vote in the process. The deeper philosophical truth here is that financial discipline isn't about finding the perfect strategy. It's about removing as many decisions as possible from your future emotionally compromised self. Automation, constraints, and accountability structures have saved more people from debt than any interest rate calculation ever did. Position size matters too. Don't throw every spare dollar at debt if you have zero emergency fund, because the moment life happens, and it will, you'll fund that emergency with the same high interest credit you just paid off. A small cash cushion of $1,000 to $2,000 before going aggressive on debt is not financial weakness, it's operational sanity. At the end of the day, the question isn't really Avalanche versus consolidation. The question is whether the system you build is honest about who you actually are under pressure, not who you intend to be in a calm Sunday afternoon budgeting session. Consistency across an imperfect strategy will always outperform perfection applied inconsistently. And if you're comfortable with either outcome consolidating or attacking balances directly, then you've already won the hardest part of the game, which is removing ego and emotion from a purely numerical problem. The best debt payoff plan is the one you're still executing 12 months from now, not the one that looked most impressive in a YouTube comment. Whether you're working through debt, building toward your first investment property, or just trying to find the right lender who actually understands your situation. Check out our links in the description below, and let's get you started.